What it do, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Elijah James from Elijah James TV, and today I'm bringing y'all another NFL breakdown. Today we'll be looking at Week 8, a Sunday night football matchup between the Green Bay Packers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers taking on his former team, where I'm pretty sure he's looking to get a revenge game, and where the Green Bay Packers are trying to prevent Aaron Rodgers from having a career day against him. So it's definitely going to be a good one. You know, we got the whole Jordan Love versus Aaron Rodgers dynamic and everything like that. So it's definitely going to be a good game. But before we get into it, y'all know the drill, man. Make sure that y'all go ahead and subscribe to this channel first and foremost. Leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure that you follow my Instagram at Elijah James TV, TikTok easy_1K. We posting content. We now in the swing of things with the sports season. NBA is back. UFC is going to be all year round, and now we get into the nitty gritty of the NFL season. So make sure that y'all go ahead and follow and stay with me. But enough of that, let's go ahead and get into this breakdown. So we'll be looking at the Packers taking on the Steelers. Right now, the Steelers is 4-2 and leading the AFC North because there's absolutely no competition in the AFC North right now. And then we got the Green Bay Packers with the 4-1-1 record, with that one record coming to a tie with the Cowboys. You know, in my eyes, that's a win in my eyes. I don't care what nobody say. As of right now, it says the Packers is leading the division over the Lions, but I think the Lions beat them earlier this year, so that might not be completely right, but they're in the running for a possible playoff spot in the NFC North. So I'm doing something a little bit different this video. I'm actually going to be looking at it from a betting perspective this time. So from a betting perspective, the Green Bay Packers are -3 favorites going on the road, which is very interesting. So we got a road favorite versus a home underdog. And usually when that happens, there's a couple of red flags that go off. The last time I checked, I'm doing this video on a Friday, but the last time I checked, the point total was at 44. I don't know where it's at now. The sports bettors are pretty much looking at this game is going to be a semi-tight game. A couple points is going to be put up, but the line being at -3 given to the Green Bay Packers on the road is very interesting, but I'll get into more of that later on. So let's go ahead and start with the Green Bay Packers. So like I said, they're 4-1-1. I think they came into the season, after game one, pretty much everybody crowned them the NFC champs. Like how the way they look amazing in week one. Some of that steam has come off just a little bit after that tie with the Cowboys and then losing to the Browns. So they kind of slowed up a little bit, but everybody is still looking at the Packers as one of the top teams in the NFC. But in my opinion though, I think the Packers are good, but they're not as good as everybody thinks. And let me explain. So according to Pro Football Reference, the Green Bay Packers, they rank like 14th in the league of total offense, which is middle of the pack. It's not bad, it's not good. But when I was watching some tape of some of the games, it looks like the offense, they do enough, not necessarily to get by, but they win the game. The offense does enough to win the game. Jordan Love, I think he's showing a little bit more maturity. Like everybody wants Jordan Love to be this gunslinger, like how they want how Aaron Rodgers used to be. But I think he's now finding ways to win games, because if you look at some of his performances haven't been nothing crazy, but at the same time, he hasn't been doing anything costly to cost them the game. The only game that they lost was that Browns game, and I don't know, man. I just feel like sometimes NFL teams have some off days, and they are also playing the Joe Flacco Browns as well. And that Browns defense is severely underrated. You still got Myles Garrett and the boys over there. It's just that they're the Browns, so everybody kind of poo-poos on the Browns, but understandable. But when I look at this offense, Jordan Love seems like he's really building that connection with his receivers. Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden are his clear favorite targets. Matthew Golden is really coming on strong. I think he's starting to take that #1 receiver role. Well, let me not say that. It's like 1A, 1B between him and Dobbs. But Matthew Golden's been making plays. I think I believe he's a rookie. I might be wrong. Matthew Golden's really taking the reins on this receiving room. You still also got Tucker Kraft. That's always a threat. He's always making a play when you least expect it. So he's always effective. But I think one person that's not getting the credit that he deserves is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has really been a top 5 running back so far this season to me. Maybe it could vary from like 5 to 7, depending on how you want to rank it. But when you need 3 yards, you can give Josh Jacobs and you'll most likely get it. He's been dealing with some nagging injuries, but he's been fighting through them. Nothing too crazy, but Josh Jacobs, he's that every down back. You can catch out of the backfield. You can give it to him up the gut if you need 2 yards. And then he has the big play potential where he could bust for 20. He doesn't necessarily have the breakaway speed of like a Jahmyr Gibbs, but he's still a threat. Like I said, I personally think he's top five running back. So the only thing I will say about this offense is that the O-line isn't as good as people think. They're not bad, but they're definitely not good. Pro Football Focus has this passing offense ranked 22nd. And when you say that, it's like, are you sure? But yeah, They're ranked 22nd, and I think sometimes it's because this O-line could let some people slip through the cracks. I just got finished watching the Packers-Bengals game, and this is when Joe Flacco first got, I think it was his first game with the Bengals. That has nothing to do with the offense, but I figured I should throw that in there. And the Bengals D-line was able to pressure Jordan Love a couple of times. I think they might have gotten to him once. I might be wrong, but they were able to apply some pressure to Jordan Love. And we talk about the Bengals. Like, we went into the season knowing how bad the Bengals defense is outside of Trey Hendrickson. But yeah, they were getting pressured on a lot. However, with them being ranked 22nd in passing offense, that is a little skewed because of the competition that they have played. If you look at the competition that the Packers have played so far in the season, they played some of the better teams in the NFL. I think their first game was the Lions. They played the Commanders, who also has a solid defense. They did play the Cowboys, whose defense is terrible, but the Cowboys was able to put up 40 points. They was able to put up 40 points, but that's still competition in my eyes. I know everybody likes to think Cowboys are trash. I think they're decent enough to give you a problem. And then, like I said, I just watched the Bengals game. If you watch that game, it wasn't like a cakewalk. It was definitely a back and forth game until like the mid-third, fourth quarter. And then it was a dogfight between the Packers and the Arizona Cardinals. And speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, like I said, that offensive line was kind of letting the Arizona Cardinals D-line kind of get through. And Jordan Love was dealing with some hell. If I remember correctly, I think Calais Campbell was wrecking shop. Overall, like I said, I think this Packers offense is pretty good. I wouldn't say they're great. I would give them, are they a top 10 offense? I don't know. I think they'll be like right around like 12, 13, 14. I think I said they ranked 14th because they do have a passing game. You do got Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Jordan Love is a good quarterback, but I just feel like they haven't put it all together yet, but they're working their way through. It's only week 8. They're working their way there. Now, when it comes to the Packers defense, now this is where I really believe that the Packers have been winning most of their games. The defense is top 5. They have a good rush attack. You got Micah now over there who's been wrecking shop and who's been looking good. They said that he had an injury at the beginning of the season, so they've been taking it slow with him, but I feel like he's now getting back healthy and they're going to start using him more. But it's not just the D-line with this Packers defense. Like, their linebackers are flying sideline to sideline. Their DBs play good coverage. And from the games that I have watched, both live and on the playback, they make plays when the plays are needed. They're not just, oh, they'll give up a whole bunch of yards and then a one interception and it kind of washes it all away. Like, no. The Packers defense is for real. I think they are one of the better defenses in the league. The only asterisk I put on this Packers defense is that Cowboys game. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised that the Cowboys was able to put 40 on them. I knew that the Cowboys defense was going to give up 40, but I wasn't expecting us to put up 40. I thought we was honestly going to get killed because I thought highly of this Packers defense. But I think that's more of a testament to the Cowboys offense being good more so than the Packers defense being quote unquote bad. But that's just something to think about. On the defense, like I said, they got Micah Parsons. They got McDuffie. I've seen him make a couple of plays. They also got Bullard, who's also a DB. I like how the way they've been playing. They've been playing real aggressive. They can come up in the box and they can also cover as well. The only question mark I have is, not necessarily question mark, but Xavier McKinney, he's dealing with an injury. I believe he's going to play on Sunday, but I don't think that's necessarily a player you want to lose on your defense because, like I said, the defense has been winning these games for the Packers. So overall, just the Packers in general, I think the Packers are a very good team. Would I say they're a top team in the NFL right now? They're definitely a top team in the NFC. Top team in the NFL as a whole. That's still left to be determined, so we'll see about that. All right, now moving over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you got Aaron Rodgers facing the Green Bay Packers for the first time since he's been on the Steelers. It's going to be a very interesting game. So let's talk about the Steelers overall before I get to just Aaron Rodgers. So the Steelers overall, like I said, they're 4-2. They lead the AFC North. There's no discussion of who's going to win that division. But they kind of got gifted that division because the Ravens got hurt and then they just been playing like trash. The Browns are the Browns, and then the Bengals. I think the Bengals could be sneaky, but I don't think the Bengals are actually going to do anything outside of them beating them, but I don't think that's going to hold up. But the Steelers, they've been, I don't know. I think they've been pretty overrated, but let me explain why. So I think the offense has been doing its job. Aaron Rodgers, I made a video earlier a couple months ago talking about if Aaron Rodgers was pretty much going to drop off a cliff. And I'm man enough to say that I have been 1,000% wrong. Aaron Rodgers was great. Outside of the Bengals game, he hasn't really been putting the ball in harm's way too much. And even in that Bengals game, he is the one that pretty much brought them back into it, because I think they were down 2 scores, and then Aaron Rodgers found that tight end on that one play to pretty much put him back in the game. Or I think it actually put them up in the fourth quarter before that field goal. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I'm willing to say when I'm wrong, and Aaron Rodgers has been balling out. I will say I should have never doubted the man, because I think he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. It's just that the age, man, he's really old, and you can like see it on his face and sometimes how the way he moves, but he's one of the best, so I got to commend him. This run game is finally starting to wake up. So I personally, I'm gonna get on my little soapbox. So I drafted Jaylen Warren because I really do believe in Jaylen Warren. I believed in him even when Najee Harris was there. I think Jaylen Warren is a really good running back. He can catch out of the backfield. He can get north-south. But at the beginning of the season, he started off a little slow. He started off real slow. He'll have spurts here and there, but he wasn't doing the damage that the run game needed. And then Kenneth Gainwell, he's a good backup as well. So I think if they get that running game going, I think that's been opening up a lot of things for the pass. That's where you see Metcalf starting to make his plays. Metcalf has been the clear-cut number one. Then you also got Calvin Austin III. He's like their little scat back. He's dealing with the shoulder injury, but it looks like he's gonna play. But he's always a threat. And then the main thing is Aaron Rodgers and his tight ends. He loves throwing the Freiermuth. I know I like Freiermuth. He played big last year. He kind of has a minimal role this year, but he's still always a threat. So you got Freiermuth. You got big old Darnell Washington. I think his name is Darnell Washington. I don't know. He's number 80. The man is a lineman, but he can move, so they got him playing tight end. He's 300 pounds, and I think he's like 6'7". Oh, God, I said the damn 6'7". Anyways, Aaron Rodgers loves throwing to his tight ends, and they usually come up big in crucial spots, especially in that red zone. He loves throwing to his tight ends in the red zone. The O-line is okay. I just checked Pro Football Reference, and the Steelers' passing offense is actually ranked 28th in the league. But I think that's kind of skewed a little bit. I don't know why it's that low, because the passing offense, it doesn't look that bad. It's definitely not great. Now, moving over to the Steelers' defense. Now, here we go. This is where it's really where we really gonna start breaking stuff down. So the Steelers' defense is surprisingly ranked 12th overall, but that's a little skewed, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's really been because of this front seven. The D-line has been playing good, led by T.J. Watt, and you got Cam Hayward. Patrick Queen has been playing decent. He's been playing okay. He could be playing better. He hasn't been making the big impact that everybody thought he was, but he's still a good linebacker. But these DBs, man, these DBs have been kind of selling the Steelers. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I give a lot of credit to the offense. These DBs have been giving up so many big plays. Like, granted, it is Jamar Chase, it is T. Higgins, but golly, you let Jamar Chase alone put up 150 yards, you can't let that happen, man. And one player I want to highlight in these DBs with the Steelers is Joey Porter Jr., because I think Joey Porter Jr. is good, but he got to keep his damn hands to himself, man. There was a couple of pass interference that pretty much costed them the drive and gave the Bengals field position again, because the man can't keep his hands to himself. And I mean, I'm going to chalk it up to that just being Jamar Chase and you can't guard him. But it's been a couple of games now where he's been really handsy and there's been a lot of pass interference calls. But yeah, so I said the Pittsburgh Steelers defense overall is 12th. Their passing defense is 21st. So there goes the problem right there. That goes exactly with what I'm saying. The front seven has kind of been keeping the defense afloat and kind of been doing their job. But these DBs, they got to tighten up. I mean, it's week 8. They got some time, but they got to get something fixed. Jalen Ramsey, I think he's actually been playing okay, but everybody's kind of talking about him because he did get cooked against the Bengals. But like I said, man, it's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I'm not going to hold that over his head too much because it's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like, come on now. But to sum it up, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are a good team. But if you really look at their numbers and who they played, their 4-2 is a little fraudulent. I'm not going to lie. It's a little fraudulent. I'm going to go through exactly who they beat and, you know, how that looked and everything. First game off rip, they beat the New York Jets, but the New York Jets put up 32 points, and y'all only won that game by 2. I don't know about that one. They beat the Patriots, but it was week 3. I think if they run it back, I think the Patriots get them. They beat the Vikings, but they almost gave that game away. I think the game was like 24-9 going into like the third quarter or something like that. The final score ended up being 24-21. And the Vikings had a chance to win the game at the end, but you got Carson Wentz playing quarterback. It's Carson Wentz. So this Pittsburgh Steelers team overall, I would say they're a good team, but I don't know. Everybody's starting to see their flaws, but the defense is bad, but it's all been kind of like covered up and washed away because of the good play of Aaron Rodgers and this offense. And I think they're starting to now hit their stride a little bit on the offensive side. It's just the defense got to match them. So it's going to probably sound obvious, but I think what this game comes down to is the Packers defense, how much they can stop the Steelers offense. Because I think this Packers offense is going to eat on this defense. No, I mean, the D-line might give them some issues, but I think the Packers will be fine on offense. However, though, how good would this defense match up with this offense? I think it is going to be a pretty close game. I understand why the line is only 3 points, but in my personal opinion, I think 3 points make sense. It could easily be the Packers win in a close one by 3, or the Steelers pull it off upright. So I understand the line 1,000%. But ultimately, what I think is going to happen in this game is the Packers defense waking up and shutting shit down. Like, I really do like Aaron Rodgers and this offense and what they've been doing, but I feel like this Steelers offense hasn't seen a Packers defense this whole season. They semi-seen it with the Seahawks, but that was week 2. So I really don't think they've seen a defense like the Packers yet. And then on the flip side, Jordan Love, he's been playing decent. He's been keeping them afloat. I think he's learning how to win games now at this point. And these DBs, man, until I see otherwise, I think they're going to get cooked every single Sunday. So until they prove it otherwise, I'm down on this Steelers. I ain't going to say the defense as a whole. It's just the DBs, really. But who I got winning this game, I'm pretty sure you could tell. I got the Packers winning this game. So the betting line is at 3. I think the Packers win by more than 3. I think the 3 is a gift. Like, we seen it yesterday with the Chargers and the Vikings game. They had that game at 3, and Chargers beat the shit out of the Vikings. And I think it's going to be another one of these cases. I don't know about beat the shit out of the Steelers, but I could definitely see the score being like 24-10. Or like maybe like even like a 30-17 or something like that. I think I said that the line was at 44. If I was to bet, I would take the 3 with the Packers. And then this is just how I bet. I would juice that 44 up to like 49.5 or 48 and play the under. Because I think it's going to be a defensive game. Some points are going to be scored. How much is going to be scored, I don't know. But overall, I got the Packers winning this game. If I was to put a prediction on it, I think it is probably going to be more so like the 30-17 type of score. Aaron Rodgers will have him a decent game. But like I said, I don't think he's seen a defense like this. I don't think he's going to necessarily put the ball in harm's way, but I think he's going to have some issues. So the Packers are going to spoil his revenge game. I think he is going to play good, but like I said, I think the Packers defense is going to end up winning in this game. But yep, that's going to do it. I think it was a pretty good breakdown. Y'all let me know in the comments if it wasn't a good breakdown, if I don't know what I'm talking about. As always, still a learning process. Y'all coming on this journey with me. We still in the beginning phases of this channel. I got some upgrades coming up. I think I actually am gonna go under construction for like a week or 2 because I got me some new goodies. I'm gonna try to get me a setup so y'all ain't just looking at this ugly shit the whole time I click on a video. Yeah, man, that's gonna do it. Like I said, always leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you go ahead and follow at Elijah James TV for more content. While I'm under construction, I'll be way more active on there. I'll probably be posting on my story, parlays, and so on and so forth. Let me also know if you guys like me putting in the betting lines in these videos. I know that's why a lot of people do look up these YouTube videos, including myself. So let me know if y'all like that or if y'all want me to just keep it straight football, no betting lines, no nothing. So, but that's gonna do it for me, y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace.